You're listening to Inside Real Estate with Irv Tremblay on Newstalk 980.
Irv, good to see you again. How you been?
Been great, Dave. Anytime I'm coming to do this show with you, I'm great. I look forward to it.
You see, it's just it's one of those things.
Yeah.
You always know just the right thing to say, Irv.
Well, sometimes, not always.
You know what? I want to get into a little bit about saying the right things at some point today. Being like taking care of business. When you need to take care of business, sometimes you got to say the right things, even if they're not popular.
Oh, okay. Now, this hasn't got anything to do with me saying the wrong things, and you're going to straighten me out here? Or no? Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
I'm saying you say the right things when they need to be said, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Good.
So I want to get into that. And
I'm with you.
Part of it is dealing with it, and this is kind of touching on what we've chatted about before, too, price reductions. When you have a listing, you're listing your home, you get the feedback, and a good agent, as you've said, will give you that feedback on how many showings you've had, what the buyer's comments have been, or the non-buyer's comments, what the agent's comments have been. And a good agent will always communicate that to the seller.
They should, no matter what that information is. And sometimes sellers don't think I'm saying the right thing, or they don't like the message I give them, but it has to be said. Because really, if you don't say it, you're kind of shirking your duties. So it's important.
A disservice to yourself, and a disservice to your client.
Absolutely.
I mean, everything's fine, everything's good. No, any day now we'll get I mean, you're accomplishing nothing.
Or we just haven't had the right buyer, or the market's soft, or it's raining too much, and it's going to be sunny this weekend, and that'll bring the buyers out, and they'll pay the price you want. And no, that's usually not the case.
So in essence, you just haven't had the right buyer, in the sense that a buyer who has a really bad agent with them, and they have no clue what anything's worth. Is that the bottom line?
Well, I'm not sure. I think it's got a lot to do with pricing and condition and getting in the property.
Well, and this is the thing. We've talked about access. We've talked. There's location is one thing you simply cannot change.
Right.
There is condition. There's some things you can do to maybe improve the condition or change something about the home if you're trying to sell. But the key one, again, where you've got the most wiggle room, is pricing.
Sure it is.
So you're in a scenario. You're getting the feedback from your agent. Not really great feedback, saying a little high, and maybe you've helped sell a competitor's home. But what do you do then if you're a good agent?
Well, often I'll suggest an appraisal. And, I've done this in the last 2 weeks, 2 or 3 times. And both times the appraisal came in. We looked at the appraisal. We also looked at what had transpired during the listing. We looked at that feedback from the agents. We looked at the price that myself and the seller had determined in looking at the market that the price should be. It isn't working out. The buyers have a different idea than we do. Mm-hmm. Let's talk to an appraiser and have a certified appraisal, and let's get a second opinion on price from an
independent source.
Sure.
See, that strikes me as a little unusual somehow, but it makes sense when you kind of walk through it that way. It makes sense.
Well, it is unusual, very unusual. Most agents don't suggest it.
Why not?
Why not? Well, why? You would think that Y is spelled W-H-Y, but in this case, Y is spelled E-G-O. It's usually ego.
Okay.
Because agents often think that if they get an appraiser, the seller will think, well, how come I didn't figure out that price? And, I don't want to do that. That'll make me look bad. It's not a case of looking bad. It's getting as much information as you can. And it's a great tool, and I use it often. If we're struggling with getting an offer, and the feedback is that our price that we determined going into the listing could be wrong, I have no problem paying $325 or what it is, something like that, and your agent should pay for it, in my mind. And 2 reasons they don't is that ego and price. That's a small investment for me to do the job for my seller. So I use appraisal all the time, and agents don't use it, and it works. And as an example, I appraised 2 or 3 properties in the last week and a half. Both of them we went to appraised price, which was different than we were. It was very similar to what the buyers were telling us.
Okay.
It satisfied the seller, and we got offers right away. In fact, one of them, we got 2 offers at once and sold the property at full price. So it does work, and it's a very, very good tool. And also, a buyer's agent is always working me over, selling me that our price is wrong. And when I can go to them and say, listen, we did lots of research, we had a certified appraisal, not for refinance or an estate. We had an appraisal to see what market value of this property was at this time, and the appraiser knew it was on the property and the asking price, and we got a second opinion. So don't think that we haven't done our homework on this price.
And I think the fact that you will say, okay, let's take a step back and let's get someone to come in, fresh eyes, independent. This is what they do. This is all they do, is appraise homes. And again, I think it's interesting that you talk about it as an effective tool that you have. Like it's another, another arrow in the quiver that you can use for targeting price and targeting other agents.
Sure, and a good part of your agent's job, and certainly a good part of my job, is the marketing of the property to the other agents and the public. And I'm not the end-all and be-all in pricing property. Yes, I do know prices, but so do a lot of other people. And the other thing is, appraisers have access to more properties than me. They have the MLS access, but they do appraisals every day of the week for refinance, private sales, estates. So they have a lot more information, and that's all they do all day is pricing. Are they better than me? In many cases, yes. I'll admit that.
Well, they've got a wider pool, though, a wider
Sure.
database to draw from, as opposed to, okay, what's recently sold, what's competition, and so on. Now, that appraised price may not be the actual price that you do choose if you go on the market, let's say, and there's been an appraisal. Okay, there's no competitors out there. You're the only game in town in this part of the city at this feature around this price. You would probably go a little above appraised price, wouldn't you?
I don't know how you come up with these questions or observations, actually, because this happened in the last week.
Really?
We actually got an appraisal prior to listing a property. And we were thinking about an auction price on this property, and we got an appraisal. I didn't really agree with the appraisal in this case, and I asked my seller to list it substantially higher than the appraised value. And the main reason was the house was very unique and very little competition. And we sold it for 10% more than appraised value.
Okay. So again, it's a tool. It's not the be-all, end-all.
No.
But it can be something, indeed, that can be effective.
Absolutely. In fact, 2 of the biggest sales I've had, the one property we sold a few months ago, we mentioned on the show, for more than $1 million. And I just sold the house next door to that for almost $900,000. Both those properties, we studied an appraisal, the market, the competition, and the sales. And I had those properties appraised to help us work on the price before they came on the market. The property for more than $1 million sold in 2 days. The property next door, which wasn't a whole lot less than that, it sold in a week and a half.
So you've got the $1 million plus home here. Now, right next to it, you got the home that's worth just under $1 million. If you're in that home next to it, is that $1 million view, Irv?
Absolutely. It is.
Sorry, I had to go there.
Oh, well, I know.
Need to take a quick break. Stay with us
Sure.
through the break.
Yeah.
Irv's website, by the way, a great resource for you, www.irvsells.ca. That's irvsells.ca. Or you can call her, 790-3753, 790-3753. Back with more of Inside Real Estate with Irv Tremblay from Century 21 after this.